Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Surrendering 101. I'm Jayka Duncan, as you probably have gathered. And I'm going to demystify surrendering. That's my goal, is for everyone to have a greater understanding of what surrendering is and why surrendering is such an amazing process. It certainly has set me free, and I'm so excited about surrendering and teaching people about it and spreading the news about it, that I just want to shout it from the rooftops. So surrendering for me, as you probably know, it healed my body of stage 4 cancer. I had been diagnosed with breast cancer in December 2016, so 4 years ago. And then it had spread into my uterus and into my cervix. And I had thyroid issues and I had colon issues. And when I hit rock bottom, I finally realized what the heck surrendering was. Because for a good year and a half, I tried everything under the sun. I knew I didn't want to do Western medicine. And so chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, I had been there, done that in 2007, which was the first time that I'd had breast cancer. I knew I didn't want to do that. So I was trying out all kinds of holistic methods, spent a ton of money, and nothing seemed to work. As a matter of fact, my holistic doctor said to me about a year into it, something along the lines of, Jayka, I know you're a very spiritual woman and I wish you well. And that was my first kind of inkling that, holy cow, I may not make it. And that was in December 2017. We started traveling in February 2018 and traveled for 15 months around Mexico, Europe, and Asia. And it was in Asia that I did a lot of my surrendering. I was in paradise, absolutely gorgeous in Asia. We were in Malaysia and India and in Thailand and yeah, it was just Indonesia and Vietnam, absolutely beautiful. And everywhere you go, there you are. And this, I was reminded of this on numerous occasions because I was surrounded by palm trees and oceans and beaches and jungles, beautiful, beautiful culture. And yet I, on the inside, was just really, really having to dig deep, the dark night of the soul. And I had been told, surrender, surrender. And I didn't know what that was. I was like, what is surrendering? Somebody please explain it to me. And I just couldn't get it. And when I got the news that the cancer had spread in October of 2018, it brought me to my knees. And I had been an avid meditator for quite some time. And I remember going into meditation. And I remember saying, I don't know what else to do. Show me. And there was a shift in me. I felt this energetic shift. And I realized that I needed to allow myself to feel the feels, as my friend would say. I realized that up until that point, I had stuffed down, swept everything under the rug, whatever didn't suit me, whatever I didn't want to deal with, I stuffed it away. I also realized that this was not an easy thing for me because that had been my program, to not feel, not allow myself to feel fear, anger, shame, whatever, anything that was difficult. I just pretended that it wasn't there, and I would cover it up with a smile. You know, there's been over the last few decades a lot of people who have been promoting positivity, the power of positivity. And I was one of those people. And this, I call it the positivity syndrome. I don't know if that's an official label or not, but this positivity syndrome just about did me in, just about killed me. And no, I'm not saying that it's bad to be positive, not at all. But I was being positive at the expense of feeling the quote unquote negative emotions. I wanted nothing to do with them. And that was my big aha moment. I knew when I was diagnosed the second time, I'm not overweight, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a big drinker. I exercise, I eat incredibly healthy. So on the physical level, I was doing everything quote unquote right. So I had a pretty good inkling that my cancer diagnosis had a lot to do with my emotional state of being. And that's why I also knew that surrendering would benefit me, but I just didn't get it until the 11th hour. So that's a little bit about my past. And of course, I wrote a book about it. I know that some of you have read it, Healed by Cancer. And since I found out that I was cancer-free, which was almost 2 years ago, it was in February of 2019, I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. Why? Because I had surrendered and let go of the need to heal my body. Up until that point that I started surrendering, it was all about, I have to heal. I have to heal my body. I need to get healthy. And there was such desperation there. There was such neediness there. And I realized as long as I was desperate, as long as I was burning the candle at both ends, trying everything under the sun to heal my body actually wouldn't heal. Desperation is a very low vibration. So that is the first thing that I want to share with you. I think a lot of you are right now journeying with health issues. And if you make it about healing your body, the chances are that your vibration is pretty low. The chances are that your attachment to a healthy body is so great that it's actually preventing you from healing. And to surrender that. And now, how do you surrender that? So for me, I decided, okay, if I am going to be okay with not healing my body, I need to be okay with dying. And I know that there is no such thing as death. There is the dying of my ego, my personality, this body, physical body, but the true essence of who I am doesn't die. And yet, we still egoically have this attachment to our physical body, don't we? And so I really had to sit with that. And for me, because I had been so good at avoiding my emotions, the unwanted emotions, I had to use the worst case scenario. Now, those of you who struggle with anxiety, who already tend to go into the worst case scenario, you don't need to do this. You're there. Your emotions are up here. But for people like me who were kind of in denial for most of my journey with cancer, I knew I had cancer, but there was a lot of denial in me. I needed to face the worst case scenario, which was not healing my body. And I allowed myself to feel. And surrendering is really about allowing myself to feel. So the fear that came up, there is really nothing wrong with fear unless we identify with it. So there are two aspects of each of us. There is the ego and there is our conscious self. I call her Grace. And our ego is fear-based. Our ego is all about getting attached, whereas our grace, our higher self, is love-based. And in my journey and all of the meditating that I did, I started to really become more in tune with grace. Grace, or your higher self, whatever you want to call it, your soul, your God self, it's our essence. It's there. Whether you're aware of it or not, it's there. And it's creating the awareness of your essence that is a vital part of a surrender practice. So when it comes to, let's say, fear, the fear that I felt, it was about holding space for the fear. And that space, and being the witness of the fear, the witness is grace. The space is grace. So allowing myself to feel actually opened up the door for grace to come in. If we don't allow ourselves to feel, and we just keep sweeping it under the rug and say, no, no, I'm good, don't worry about me, and cover it up with a smile like I did, then we keep that door shut and locked. So it's about opening that door. Grace doesn't care whether I'm healthy or not. Grace doesn't care whether I feel fear or anger or joy. Grace is love. Grace doesn't join me when I feel fear. Grace is love. And so it's about my personality, my ego, joining grace and becoming grace. And so if grace is the vibration up here and I'm feeling fear, grace is never going to come down. Never, ever, ever. It will always stay up here. So I have a choice to stay down here, which is pain, emotional pain, not fun, or I can choose to make my way up to the higher vibration that grace is, which is love, peace, allowance, compassion, patience. And how to make your way up there. That is the question of the day. And that is starting to really allow yourself to become more and more aware of your essence and not identifying with the fear or anger or shame or guilt, jealousy, whatever it is, not identifying with it, but to be the observer of it and see it separate of you. Emotions are energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but we can block it or we can lock it in our body, and that's what so many of us have done. We've locked it in our body. So that's what happened to me, is I locked all of this fear. Mine was all fear of rejection. Fear of rejection kept showing up everywhere. For someone else, it may be anger. Shame, I had shame as well, for sure. And I definitely had a little bit of anger. So how to unlock that? I started a mindfulness practice first off, which was really about getting to know me. And so I'm inviting all of you to start a mindfulness practice. What is a mindfulness practice? Being the observer of you, your thoughts, your words to others, your self-talk, your emotions, your reactions, to really become the observer of you. And I would invite you to take some notes, just some bullet notes, whether that's on your phone or on a piece of paper. And you likely will start to see some patterns. And if you are journeying with some serious chronic health issues, I would invite you to start to look at all areas of your life and start to ask yourself some questions. You could look at your relationships, whether it be with your parents, your kids, your spouse, friends, co-workers, and most importantly, your relationship with yourself. And if it's not a 10 out of 10, ask yourself, when I look at my relationship with others, is it a 10 out of 10? If it's not, there's room for improvement. There's room for surrendering. Then look at your body image and look at your relationship with money. Look at your relationship with your work. Do you enjoy your work or do you hate your job? Everything in your life, where you live, your extracurricular activities, absolutely everything. Ask yourself, is this a 10 out of 10? Or is there room for improvement? Chances are, especially if you're living with some chronic health issues, there are no 10 out of 10s. And so in each area, and this was the case for me, and I've said it many times, I've realized that we're more alike than we are different. But when I started to put the microscope on me in all areas of my life, I saw that I wasn't a 10 out of 10, not even close, that I had a ton of limiting beliefs. And so I started to hold space for those limiting beliefs and surrendering those limiting beliefs and the emotions that were attached to it. So for example, I was a workaholic. I worked 3 jobs. I raised 2 children. I ran half marathons. I was the Energizer Bunny extraordinaire. And I just said, well, this is who I am. I thrive when I'm busy. And lo and behold, I realized, is this part of the reason that I'm sick? Have I exhausted my physical body? And I asked myself, why am I working 3 jobs? Why do I feel the need to work so much? And I started to look at my family, my parents, my brothers, and they all have tendencies towards workaholic, behavior as well. And of course, we tend to mimic our families, right? And I started to kind of put the microscope on my family and realized, I got the sense, okay, what if I were to not work 3 jobs? What if I only worked 1 job? What comes up in me? And there was fear that I'm not worthy. And I realized, holy cow, I attached worthiness to working. I had to prove my self-worth. And so I had stopped working altogether when I was diagnosed and decided to just focus on healing my body. But in 2007, that wasn't the case. 2007, I underwent surgery and chemo and radiation and continued working because I had something to prove. Within a year, it was about 10 months after I finished all the treatments, I ran a half marathon because I had something to prove. And those were big aha moments for me. And then I looked at my need to exercise and be so fit and realized, holy cow, if I'm not fit, I feel like possibly people won't love me. I looked at my eating patterns and the fact that I had struggled with an eating disorder until about 2007 and realized I had a huge fear of becoming fat because my father had such incredible criticism towards people who had extra weight on their body. And again, I remember thinking, wow, if I gain weight, what would happen? If I allowed myself to gain weight, what comes up in me? And that is a great way to surrender, is when you start your surrender meditation with that kind of question. So in regards to my body image, if I would surrender on the question, What if it's okay for me to gain 50 pounds? And my ego right away was like, whoa, no, 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 absolutely not. That can't be. And all of this fear crept up. And that's exactly what I wanted. All right, there's the fear. I'm going to hold space for the fear. And I'm going to do my best not to identify with the fear, but be the witness of it. And so the fear can be the darkness. The witness, grace, is the light. And so I would shine the light on it. Now, it would be a bit of a dance because, you know, I would identify with the fear and really, really feel it. And then I would be like, whoa, okay, no, I don't need to identify with the fear. Fear is just energy. And I can release this energy. I can let go of it. I don't need to lock it in my body anymore. And be the witness of it. And look at it from the perspective of grace. And not need the fear to be gone. Because grace, our higher self, is totally okay with the fear being there. And by being okay with it being there, I've opened up the door because I'm not resisting it. I'm not judging it. I have no expectations. I am just holding space for it. Allowing the fear to be there. And now I was able to surrender. And this is the thing, is when you surrender, you can be okay with it in your, you know, after a while, you can be okay with it emotionally, mentally, and then it still takes your body a little bit longer to catch up. It takes your nervous system a little bit longer. So you can be totally surrendered. And then when you act from that surrendered place, you end up, you know, having a bit of a nervous, nervousness, like your nervous system is on fire, because it takes your body a little bit longer to catch up. So for example, I made some decisions, business decisions, a couple of weeks ago that felt really, really light to do, to cut back on my business, on my one-on-one coaching, so that I could start making space for group coaching. And it felt really light to do this. And it was an inspired choice to do this. And when push came to shove, I felt like I was having a bit of an anxiety attack. And my whole body, my heart was pounding and I was jittery. And I went out onto the trails because nature really helps me to release. And I just became the observer of the anxiety in my body. Just the observer. And as I surrender, I talk to myself. Talking out loud is what I do, because I feel that if I just think it, then I'm only just thinking it. But if I'm saying it out loud, I'm speaking it and I'm hearing it. And it has a stronger energy to it. And so I would say out loud to myself, it's okay that there's fear of not making enough money, or fear of making the wrong choice. It's okay. It's okay that I'm anxious. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Those are words that I have spoken to myself thousands of times. Because my big aha moment was that I didn't love myself. And that cancer ended up being a messenger of exactly that. I did not love myself unconditionally. And as I was surrendering, I kept saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm here for you. I hear you. I see you. I embrace you. You see, my father did the best he could. My mother did the best she could. And I don't believe that there's a family out there in the world that isn't dysfunctional at some level. And so all of our parents have done the best they could with the tools that they had. And in the case of my father, his tool was a hammer. And so it was, it was a bit tough. But I know that he loved me in his own conditional way. And so what surrendering taught me was to be my own parent. because all of our programs, most of our programs, were created in our childhood. The limiting beliefs. I'm not worthy. I'm not smart. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not fit enough. I'm not talented. Whatever it may be, and all of the fear, the anger, the shame that's attached to that. Most of those programs were created in our childhood. And in a surrender practice, when you start to become the witness of you, as these programs are brought to the surface, grace, your higher self, becomes your parent, your loving mother, your loving father. And I remember I was able to do this in meditation. I would surrender and become the witness until I felt myself lightening up. And I would go from feeling the fear, identifying with the fear and doing the dance, going from the fear to being the observer, being grace and sending love. And then all of a sudden I'd get caught up again in feeling the fear, and it would be a bit of a dance. And sometimes the fear would turn into doubt. You know, I can't do this. What the heck am I thinking? Well, then I would shine the light on the doubt. It's okay that there's doubt. And then the doubt may turn into anger. You know, angry that, well, this isn't happening fast enough, and I'm getting impatient. And so then it's okay. It's okay that I'm feeling the anger. And I just kind of, you know, grace is just following whatever emotions arise and holding space for it and being okay with it and loving me through it. And I was able to do that. And for about 6 weeks, this was a beautiful process, a very difficult process, mind you. I was spending 2-3 hours a day in meditation, letting go of limiting belief after limiting belief. But the problem is that I would open up my eyes and I would go about my day after the meditation, and I'd go back into my old ways, and I wouldn't feel the love for myself, and I wouldn't be connected with grace. And so I put an intention out there. And I'm all about intention. When we set intentions, we are letting our guides know, our higher self know that, okay, I'm ready for this. And my intention was for me to feel grace, even when I'm not in meditation, to embody her. And that's what happened in India when I was there 2 years ago, where I was just going about my day, not in meditation, and all of a sudden I felt her, and I was her. And the tenderness and the gentleness that came through was absolutely phenomenal. It was beautiful. And so I invite you to set that intention as well, for you to not just tune in and embody your higher self during meditation, but to allow it to be part of your day, to invite it to be part of your day. Your higher self is with you 24/7. It can't be any other way. The problem is, we're not always aware. And so setting the intention that you become more aware of that greater part of you, the truth of who you are, become more aware. And make it about that. Whether you're trying to heal your body, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to fix a relationship, you're trying to make more money, whatever your thing is, don't make it about that. Because the chances that the vibration around that is pretty low is high. So make it about becoming more aware of that greater part of you, your essence, which is love and compassion and peace. And in order to do that is to be the witness of you, the ego. Be the witness of you. And this did not happen overnight for me. I would say for 99% of people, this doesn't happen unless you're, Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie, or, where they just, boom, all of a sudden there it is and they're awakened. For most of us, it is a process. And might I add, I've been doing this now for a few years, and I definitely still have my moments where programs come up. And that's okay too, being an allowance of that. I call them default programs. So even though I've surrendered and healed my body, I've come a long way. I've raised my vibration, obviously, in order for my body to heal. I feel incredible love and tenderness for me, for myself. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, there's a default program where my inner child, and by the way, our ego is a representation of our inner child, the little girl, the little boy in us. She pipes up. Just the other day, I do a podcast with my dear friend Kathy, and she contacted me a few days ago and said, you know what, Jayka, I am just too busy. I'm overwhelmed, and I can't do this. I can't do this. Something's got to give, and I can't do this podcast with you anymore. And the little girl in me felt the rejection, because fear of rejection has always been the biggest fear. The little girl in me felt it, but I was so aware and holding space for that little girl and saying it's okay. It literally felt like a little girl on the playground being told by her friend, I don't want to play with you anymore. That's kind of what it felt like. And I was so aware of that. And so Grace, the loving parent, shining the light on that, holding space for that little girl. So often children feel unseen, unheard, unacknowledged, unloved. And it is now our role, our opportunity to love that part of us. So this is not, a quick fix. I would love to say that it is, but it isn't. And it is the work of a lifetime. And so I meditate every single day. Someone asked me at the beginning, how long do you meditate? At least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. For me, meditation is my medicine. Surrendering is my medicine. I don't surrender every day, only if something comes up that I become aware of. And because I've done it so much now, I can do it in the moment. And in the moment is the best time to surrender, when the emotion is there on the surface, ready to be let go, ready to leave your body, your physical body. And I know, if you feel triggered and you're at work surrounded by people, okay, maybe that's not the best time for you to surrender. And so then keep that in mind, and then promise yourself, when I get home, I'm going to sit with this, and I'm going to hold space for whatever came up, the triggers that came up. I'm going to love myself through this. But if you have the opportunity to surrender right there in the moment when you get triggered, whatever it is, that is truly the best time. And allow yourself to feel. As we traveled the world, we realized that no matter where, whether it was Mexico or Europe or Asia, as a rule, people are taught not to feel. It's not okay to be angry. It's not okay to cry. You cry, people are like, oh, no, don't cry, right? And so as children, we are, if we cry too much, we're called a crybaby. And if we're angry, well, we're sent to our room. And so we're taught at a young age that it's not okay to show our emotions. And surrendering is about allowing you to feel your emotions. Because what you've done over the years, simply because society has taught us not to feel, is we've stuffed them down. Turns out when you stuff them down, they don't go away. They don't go away. They fester in your body. So when it comes to the surface, be grateful. Be grateful that you've been triggered. Whatever triggers you, whether it's another person or an event or a diagnosis, whatever it is, be grateful for it. Because it has been brought to the surface, which means that you can let it go. You have an opportunity to let it go. So being triggered is a good thing, as tough as it is. And this is why a surrender practice is not easy. It's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. But the reward, and this is the why, that I just want to briefly discuss, and then I'm going to take you through an actual meditation, surrender meditation. Why is surrendering so powerful? I've said this on numerous occasions. If surrendering had just healed my body of cancer, that would have been an amazing thing. But believe it or not, that wasn't the best thing about it. Not even close. The love, the tenderness, the gentleness that I feel, that I embody, that is the biggest gift. And as a result, I'm able to be in this presence of grace most of the time. And I can live in this crazy world with COVID and not get caught up in it, be the observer of it, not join the fear, not join the anger, but be neutral and be at peace with what is. Because surrendering really leads to being at peace with what is. Being at peace with your health, with relationships, your money situation, being at peace with what is. That is the why, is that it raises your vibration and it affects all areas of your life. And it ends up helping your relationship with yourself, with others, your relationship with money, with your body, your health, everything. Everything. And there was something else I was just going to say, and it just left my brain. So maybe it will come up later. But I am going to take you all through a meditation. And in this meditation, what I'll do is I'll take you first into the surrendering part. So take a moment right now and think about what trigger is on the surface for you the most. What's the freshest? Did you just have some issues with another person, relationship-wise? Or does it have to do with your health? What resistance, because really that's what that is when you feel fear or anger or shame or guilt or jealousy, whatever it is that has been brought up in you, that's resistance to what is. And what you resist persists. And so take a moment right now and think about, what would I like to surrender right now? And I'll take you through a little sample meditation. And please let go of any expectations that you will be able to let go of this. Because if you have those expectations, then you're attached to the outcome. Be okay with whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever was triggered in you. Be okay with it. Don't need it to be gone. And for me, depending on how strong it was lodged in my body, it sometimes took an hour. And we're not going to take an hour today to do it, but I'll definitely show you, the method of how I did it. And sometimes it released in 10 minutes. So it really depends on how deep it is. And then, let's say in regards to me, I surrendered a lot around my father, in my relationship with my father. And then I would get triggered again. And I'm like, what the heck? I've dealt with that. I've dealt with that like 2 or 3 times. But I'm ready to go a little deeper with it. And so to be patient with yourself. And it's okay if you screw it up. Give yourself permission to screw it up. Because really there is no right or wrong. There is no screwing it up. Giving yourself permission is shining the light on it. Okay? And one other thing that I wanted to mention is to not take yourself so seriously in this whole process. We tend to take life so seriously. And that's something else that surrendering has taught me. Life is literally just a game. We are spirit having a human experience. solely for the purpose of wanting to experience what it means, what it feels like to be in a physical body. And our purpose is to be joyful, to be love, to be at peace. And so I invite for you to surrender and become more aware of your higher self so that you may also be more at peace, embody love, be more compassionate with yourself. And if you're not able to be compassionate with yourself, be okay with that too. It's okay. Today I can't be compassionate with myself. All right, okay, that's okay. I love you. I'm here for you. Whatever comes up, whatever resistance comes up, whatever heaviness comes up, you shine the light on it by embracing it with your love, with your acceptance. All right, so go ahead and close your eyes. And let's start this meditation. Let's take a couple of nice, gentle breaths in and out. And as you are breathing, bring your attention into your body and notice how your chest is rising and falling. Feel your body sitting on the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. And allow your breath to bring you into the present moment. It's in the present moment that you connect with your higher self. Your higher self does not exist in the past or in the future. Right here, right now. Bringing your attention to your breath. If thoughts arise, that's okay. That's okay. Let them come. Let them go. And don't get caught up in the thoughts. You can be the observer of the thoughts as well. And just keep breathing. And now bringing to mind the trigger that you experienced, possibly today, yesterday, earlier this week. What is it that you would like to surrender? What resistance is there for you? And whatever that resistance is, what if it's okay for you to feel that resistance? What if it's okay for you to be angry or afraid or be ashamed? What if that's okay? And when I say that, when I ask that, what if that's okay? What comes up in you? Is there a resistance to that question? It's not okay. What are you saying? I shouldn't be afraid. This is BS. I don't want to be afraid anymore. And then hold space for that. Be with that reaction, because that's just more ego, of course. And just being with the fear or the anger, whatever's arising. Holding space, being the observer of it. As I mentioned before, our emotions are energy. And so where in your body are you feeling this emotion, this energy? Are you feeling it in your chest or in your tummy, your throat? Wherever you're feeling it, wherever the tension is, Go there. Bring your attention there. And what if you were to see the fear or the anger right there in your body? Let's say you're feeling fear and it's in your stomach. Bring your attention into your stomach and be the observer of the fear. And maybe you could see it as energy, like an energy ball. And you let yourself be the watcher of it. And if you're finding that difficult to do because you're still identifying with the fear or the anger, that's okay too. Be okay with that. If the fear is too strong, be okay with that. Whatever you are feeling, be at peace with it. Welcome it. Embrace it. However that feels for you. And what if this fear was to grow? What if you were allowing it to grow even stronger, to bring even more to the surface so that you have the opportunity to let it go? So welcoming even more fear or more anger to the surface, adding it to the energy ball, if that's what you're able to see. And being the witness with compassion, with love, with patience. The part of you that's feeling this fear, this anger, is the inner child. And if it helps for you to bring to mind a younger you, maybe a 5-year-old you, and telling her or him, I love you. I'm here for you. And maybe in your mind's eye, even hugging her or him, cradling. It's okay that you're afraid. It's okay, I'm here for you. You're safe. If you're feeling anxiety, tell yourself you're safe. You're safe. It's safe to feel. And if stories come up, a lot of times we have limiting beliefs. The yeah buts and the what ifs. Or he did this or she did that. Those are stories. Acknowledging those stories, holding space for those stories. They're not the truth. They're just stories. And as you do the dance between feeling and being caught up in the emotion and being the witness of it, eventually maybe you're able to be the witness more and identify with it less. And just keep holding space. If you feel yourself starting to cry, or you're starting to shiver or sweat, that's just your body's way of releasing this pent-up energy. It's a good thing. Allow it to happen. Maybe your heart's starting to pound. That's okay too. Whatever's happening in your body, be in full allowance of that. Whatever you're feeling, be in full allowance of that. Maybe right now you're not able to feel anything, and that makes you frustrated. Feel that. Feel the frustration. Whatever is here in this moment, welcome it. Be an allowance of it. Embrace it with your love and your compassion. You are precious. You are so precious, and beautiful, and worthy. You are worthy of a healthy body. You are worthy of loving relationships. You don't have to prove your self-worth. You are worthy simply for being born. I love you. I'm here for you. I embrace you. I will never reject you. I embrace you. And as you continue to talk to your inner child, your ego, who's feeling all of the resistance, as you continue to talk to her or him with gentleness, with tenderness, with patience, maybe you're noticing that the fear is starting to subside, or the anger is starting to dissipate a little bit. Sometimes there are some negative energetic cords that are there between the emotion, or the stories, and yourself. So if in your mind's eye you happen to notice that there are some energetic cords there, maybe you could ask one of your guides to come in, take out a special pair of scissors, a magical pair of scissors, and cut the cords. However many cords there are, cut the cords. So that you can be free from these limiting beliefs, these stories, and all of the emotions that are attached to it. And maybe you could take a moment now to open up your crown chakra, the top of your head. And you can open that simply by intending for it to open or seeing it open. And so the energy of our higher self, of grace, generally resides a couple of feet above our head. And so imagining the light of your higher self, your grace, to flow through your crown like a light shower. Flow through your crown, through your head, and down your throat, through your heart, your solar plexus. And while it's flowing through you, seeing your body lit up with the beautiful light energy that is your essence. And while it's flowing like liquid love, allowing whatever heavy emotions to be cleansed. And what if you were to allow this beautiful light energy to continue flowing down beyond your heart chakra, your solar plexus, all the way down to your root chakra, and opening up your root chakra and letting it flow out. And whatever heavy emotions were there, whatever remnants were still there, allowing the light to wash that down and out your root chakra. And just have this continual light, this liquid love flowing through your crown, through your whole body, cleansing your body of anything that isn't serving you. All the way down and out the root chakra. And now let's bring your attention back into the body part where you had felt your tension, your resistance in the first place. Whether that was your stomach or your throat or chest, wherever that was. Bring your attention back there now, please. And notice that without the resistance, without the emotions, without the stories, so you've let them go, what's left behind is an emptiness, like an empty room. So become aware of that empty space. And notice the stillness in this space. This beautiful, loving stillness. Becoming aware of the stillness between my words, between my sentences. And allowing your awareness to expand and notice that this stillness is everywhere. Breathing into the stillness. This is your essence. Feeling the peace and the calm that's here. Just letting yourself become more and more aware of the stillness. And if a thought pops up, that's okay. Let it go and notice the stillness behind the thought. And letting your awareness grow. And noticing that there is this stillness in your whole body and being. There is a neutrality here. Everything is what it is. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is no good. There is no bad. In this stillness, there is neutrality, peace. And allowing your awareness to expand beyond your body and being. Thousands of kilometers above, below, and to all sides. Where your attention goes is where your energy is. And so noticing the stillness and how incredibly expansive this stillness truly is. Be the stillness. It is in this stillness that there is oneness with everything, with the universe. And from this beautiful space, in your mind's eye, take a moment to see the best case scenario of you and whatever you are surrendering. If you are surrendering fear around health, then see yourself vibrantly healthy. If you are surrendering anger in regards to an individual, then see yourself joyful. Allow yourself right now to visualize you thriving, absolutely thriving, and feel the emotions as if it has already happened. Whatever your emotions are, joy, love, peace, a sense of freedom, let yourself feel that. And what are you doing in this visualization? Who are you with? Where are you? Really let yourself be there. And the fact that you are able to have this visualization means that it's a reality out there in the quantum field. And it means that you can make it a reality in the physical field, a physical reality. So continuing to feel the emotions, it's important for you to feel the emotions as if it has already happened. And take a moment right now and let's take a snapshot of you. Filled with love, peace, joy, freedom. Take a snapshot of that. And file it away. And remind yourself to take out this snapshot as often as possible and remind yourself of the possibilities of becoming this version of you, this more expansive, joyful, loving version of you. Pull out that snapshot as many times as you can and allowing yourself to feel the emotions as if it has already happened. The more that you do this, and the more that you let go and surrender any of the resistance that gets in the way, the sooner that you will be aligned with that version of you, the sooner that you can make it a physical reality. And after this meditation, you could even write down your vision, what you were doing, how you were feeling, who you were with, and where you were. And maybe you can even expand on it. Let yourself be excited about the possibilities that are available to you. Allow yourself to dream big, beautiful dreams, bold dreams. And so let's bring your attention back into your body. Taking a few nice gentle breaths, noticing your breath, feeling yourself sitting on the chair. Continuing to feel these heightened emotions of your future expansive self that's now out there in the quantum field, ready to be aligned with. Continue to let yourself feel these heightened emotions. And when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes and look through the eyes of this more evolved you, who's filled with love and tenderness and peace and possibilities. Namaste. And so if you haven't already, please open up your eyes. And so what surrendering does, it clears the path. There is a path from where we are, right here, right now, in the physical body, to our future possibilities. But there's a few roadblocks along the way. Those are our limiting beliefs. And so as we surrender and let go of those roadblocks, we start to clear that path more and more. And we start to be able to make this our reality, this future evolved version of ourselves. And I would encourage all of you to make this a daily practice and really put yourself under the microscope and ask yourself, how could I be different? What else is possible? And in the end, what I realized is that I didn't actually need fixing. I needed loving. Love is what heals me. Love has the power to heal you emotionally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. None of us really need fixing. We need embracing. That's why the witness, the watcher, grace is vital in this surrender practice. Love. Love is what's required. And so I want to take a moment now to let you know about a class that I'm holding in January. And so it's been said that many of us know what to do, but we don't do what we know. And often when we are in a group setting, we can motivate ourselves, hold ourselves accountable, and I would like to offer that opportunity to all of you, is a group setting where we would meet once a week for 6 weeks, starting Sunday, January 3rd, I think it is, where we would work interactively, talking and discussing that which we want to surrender. And I'm going to do the focus on physical health, because that seemed to be the number one reason that people wanted to learn how to surrender, was heal their body. And so I'm offering this 6-week class starting January 3rd for $179. But for this group, as a gift, I'm offering it for $149 for the next 24 hours. And I think Alan is putting a link in the chat box. You'll also be emailed the link if this is something that you're interested in. And so I would invite you to go within, tune in, and ask yourself, does this feel right? If I choose this class, will it benefit? Will it be for the greater good? I'm going to have this class for around 10 people, so that it can be an intimate group of lots of, kind of one-on-one within the group. And yeah, when I was healing myself, I did the surrendering by myself, but there were many times that I got discouraged, that I got to a point where I thought, I don't know if I'm doing this right, and wanted to give up. And I had my people who supported me, who kept me motivated, who kept me from giving up. And so I feel that that's a really important aspect, is to create this community of supporters, of which I'm part of. And these classes, there would be a guided meditation in all of them. As an extra bonus, I'm offering one-on-one private session with me at half price, 50% off. So that's an $80 savings. And I will create a private Facebook group as well for people to be able to connect, throughout the week, to motivate and encourage each other. If that's what you like, if that's not your thing, that's okay too. And so if this is something that you are interested in, then check out the link that Alan just put into the class, and sign up. And I will be sending more information as well. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and which is 1 p.m. Standard Time, or 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and 10 people, approximately 10 people. If there's 11 people, then I will allow 11 people. If there is a lot more than that, then I'm open to creating another class. But I'm really wanting to keep it to about 10, 11 people, because I want to keep that, so that I can do lots of kind of one-on-ones within the group. Okay, so if there are lots more, then I will create another class on a different day and a different time, and we'll see if we can fill up another class as well. All right. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm really, really appreciating you. So grateful for you that you've taken this, the last hour and a half or so, to be with me. And I hope that you have gained some clarity in the process of surrendering. In a nutshell, be an allowance of everything, absolutely everything. Your emotions, your thoughts, your words, your self-talk, your reactions. Be an allowance of everything. Hold space for it. Be the witness of it, and start to live your life more through the perspective of your higher self and less through the perspective of your ego, which means you start to see the world more through the eyes of love and less through the eyes of fear. And I'm telling you, that is your ticket to freedom. It's allowing you to get out of your own way. All right, thank you so much. I love you all, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.